Hello, hello, hello! Thank you for joining us for this review of Sense8. I have no room in my heart for hate. I am Kristin, and joining me is...
Mike, philosopher!
What?
I like to use my branding.
I like it. It's good. You should keep it. Copywritten. As always, please follow us on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, not Audible. You can follow us on Audible, actually. You can download it.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Subscribe on iTunes, give us a review, but definitely subscribe. We got Facebook, Instagram. I did say Twitter, but definitely visit our Twitter because I definitely went off today.
Yes, you did.
And Tweetstorm. And check us out. We're doing Better Call Saul right now, Fargo, Twin Peaks, American Gods. Coming up is Orange is the New Black, House of Cards. And I'm thinking you'll see Best of May here soon as well. Other than that, we got boobtubebuddies.com if you want to just anything and everything Boob Tube Buddies. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, requests, email us at boobtubebuddies@gmail.com.
Amen.
I almost wrecked it, but I think I saved it there at the end.
You pulled it out.
I pulled it out. I need it written down, apparently.
Yeah, I have to write down everything, it seems.
All right, well, let's start this. I have no room in my heart for the people that canceled fucking Sense8.
Right, yeah. Elephant in the room, right? So, as we're recording this, it's the same day they announced there'll be no season 3. It's pretty upsetting.
I'm livid.
I don't know that I don't understand it. Like, it's got to be really high budget show.
They spend just as much as Game of Thrones
right,
spends on one
that.
episode. So immediately when I found that out, I'm like, well, that's why. Because I love the characters. I love the narrative, the surrounding of it. Is sometimes the writing a little B or C.
Right.
And sometimes I'm afraid that that's why you've got this, $10 million episode, and it's...
you're spending all your money on production and not on the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, and then you have fucking Bug over there, who needs... Like, just...
Yeah, so that's like the first thing I heard when I thought of it. I was like, well, think of all these extra characters that you're blowing money on, and especially this season, there was a lot of bringing the whole cast to certain areas, and I don't know. I mean...
Don't other people do it, like, with green screens and stuff like that? There's possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, you could do more indoor shoots and not be outdoors so much, and you could save a lot of money with sets, I'm sure, but... I mean, that kind of... At the same time, I understand it kind of limits what the show's kind of...
supposed to be.
Yeah, so...
But I would have loved to know, because they had a plan for this.
Right, and I hope I would be... So we were talking about... Somebody had mentioned on Facebook about...
Firefly.
And at least he was able to realize his story, and that was like, I want to say it was crowdfunding because that's not what it was, but it was a lot of noise from the fans of the show, and they got to make the movie, and the movie kind of wrapped up the storyline by and large. I know we would like to see more of that. We probably won't, but you could do that with Sense8, I think, especially given how this season is going to end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see.
I know.
Still don't know.
I know. I feel bad for you.
I'm actually happy though, because that means like the day that I find out it's canceled, I still have a couple new episodes left.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like when it ended, I was like a little blah because I've seen the whole thing. I was just more upset that the season's going to end the way it ends, and that's going to be the end of the show. And I hate when shows end suddenly on cliffhangers.
See, that as soon as like you told me that, I'm like, I don't even like, part of me is excited that I have new episodes left, and then part of me is like, well, what's the point? Because it's gonna leave me hanging on some form or fashion, and I'm not gonna get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I'm very upset about it.
Right.
I went on my tweet storm.
Yeah. Speaking of tweets, we could go ahead and lighten the mood and do a little thing we call summon it up in a tweet if you want.
Good call.
Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up, summon it up. Oh yeah, we're summon it up. Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up, summon it up and up.
Tweet. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and go first. I don't know if it's my turn or not, but whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
Rajan's dealing dirty. Sun gets weirdly flirty. The old man Ahoy comes through, and Diego's helping too. Jonas says, guess who? And fucking Todd's back too.
That's great. Nailed it. That's amazing. Mine's a little more reaching, so bear with me. Okay. As Rye goes to shy, Capheus decides to run. Leto gets canned, and it's the cemetery for Sun. Kala grows balls, and that mass shooting, not fun. Even worse, where was Wolfie? A little, but practically none.
Yeah, that's good. He wasn't in this episode very much.
But where he was in this episode was my favorite.
Yeah, and that
Favorite.
is summing it up in a tweet. Yeah, so...
I always forget that we're doing a segment and I want to just keep talking. But that's
Yeah, I
okay.
know, so do I. I noticed it like when I listen back to the podcast, I'm like, well, we went on.
Oops, oh well.
Like I listen to the other ones, they wrap it up, but I mean, whatever.
Whatevs.
But you hit on it in your summing it up in a tweet. Really, Riley and Chicago is where the whole thing kicks off.
Yes. And this whole episode is just, my new name for them is Willie.
Willie?
Riley and,
That's a little
you
confusing.
can
But
call him Wiley.
well, I think his dad called him Willie, right?
Really?
I think so.
I didn't even mean to do
It's
it.
Willie.
Really? Wiley? Really?
We don't even give Riley credit.
Anyway, Riley and Will are relationship goals in this episode.
Yeah, he was really good in this episode.
So good in this episode.
And later when he runs into Diego, like that interaction was fantastic. And we had talked about this earlier, and I think you had mentioned it, how good Brian Smith has been in this show.
He really has.
Yeah, and this was kind of like a tour de force episode for him.
Yeah, like when he's sitting there in the plane, right before they pan to the next scene, and he's just holding her hand, and he's telling her to be careful with like choking up tears in his eyes. I cried a good amount through this episode. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of like choking up moments.
Yeah.
And this was definitely one of them. That was one thing I tweeted to him, was that I totally felt his love in this episode. Brava.
Yeah, exactly. And you knew it was serious because the beard's coming back.
I didn't even realize that, but such a good point. So yeah, she goes to Chicago and Will's freaking out about it, and Nomi's kind of trying to be a go-between, a median.
Yeah, I didn't mind her in that role.
I will say that this episode and the next episode, I like Nomi in these.
Yeah, I think they were good episodes for her.
They were very good episodes for her. The writing was better for her, and she delivered her lines with a lot more oomph.
Yeah, I think there was
felt.
like only one time in these two episodes where I was like, yeah, that was a little bit more like old Nomi, but yeah, it was good.
I liked it.
Yeah. It started last episode when she had the scene with no lines. I'm like, that's more of that, more of like an intermediary. I don't need, like, if she's not going to be the star, I don't need a lot of stuff from her.
Exactly. And so in the middle of this, they're worried about TSA.
Yeah,
the NSA. They're worried about the NSA too.
Because they don't want her to get tagged and spotted by...
But an alert goes up because there is another mass shooting.
Yeah.
Which is everyday life.
It seems like that.
And then it pans over to, okay, first of all, homegirl Kala is wearing that dress.
Yeah.
She is wearing that dress.
She does wear tight stuff well.
And I do love her, like, no, don't go in. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So
She plays that so well.
She does. I was a little confused by it, like, even at the beginning, like, because she seemed really bossy. Then she goes in there and she seemed really demure. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But the second time I watched it, it's like, okay, she's just playing the role. Yeah.
She's playing it up. Fake it till you make it. But pretty much Rajan,
she caught him cheating at business. That's my bug, pregnant pause.
I like it. That was good. That was good. I want that throughout, by the way. Yeah. I expect it. So Rajan is sending expired drugs, pretty much, useless drugs. But don't worry, it's not going to affect them because it's being sent off to far off distant places, including Kenya. And then they pan to Capheus, and again with the choke up, like the look on his face. Again, a lot of things changed for me in these two episodes. I don't know what it was. And so when you told me this today or shared the cancellation, Jesus. I really liked Capheus in these 2 episodes. The new one. Because here's why.
Nodding doesn't translate, but yeah, I agree.
Here's why. Because I really loved the youthful, excited aspect of the first guy. But where they're taking his character, or where they were taking his character into something more serious and political, his face fits that better than Amal Amin.
Right. He gets stronger throughout the season, and it is because he fits that role, the political side of the role, rather than he doesn't have to be so charming anymore.
Exactly. However, and I'm really going to jump here to the next episode, but it's very slight. When Wolfie is walking through and seeing all those people, and he comes up to Capheus, and Capheus has that huge smile, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That was the affectionate, endearing Capheus I remembered from season 1, and he was able to capture it in that moment, like, hello.
Yeah.
Like,
it's better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah, whatever. I'm so mad. But anyway, hearing that this is happening, injustice happening across, the world that's still happening to him, it really prompts him to want to...
Yeah, to go with the political aspect. And so, like, it goes to him being at the KDRP and basically saying, yeah, I'm in. Yeah. Which, it's... I mean, so, like, I'm just not sure how that works. Like, I don't know much about political backing stuff, but it just seems really...
Well, he's got Silas.
Yeah. I know. It just I just don't know. Like, I feel like it should be something smaller. Like, it seems too big almost. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to complain about it.
No, I mean, I agree. You're right. It doesn't seem like it, but I do love. I love the difference in publicity for it.
Are you talking about the ads?
The spray paint?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why didn't we have more of that?
Yeah, that was cool. So he's walking around town with Jella, and, he's at first it's like a little medium painting and there's signs, and then he comes across one that's huge. It's gigantic.
It scared him. Okay, so now we're on the flight back with Riley.
Right.
And we've got
the Buddha lady.
The odd tree monk.
Yeah, who we saw at the rave.
Yes.
She's not really down.
No.
And she can control other people not being able to follow her, it seems like. She's got super monk powers.
I mean, they have super monk powers.
But she does say something interesting. Like, she says, what is it? You're thinking... She's not going to help because your thinking reflects their thinking. I thought that was interesting because she's like, oh, you got to change yourself before you change the world. And they're all trying to change the world. They're trying to do big things instead of small things. I thought it was a pretty interesting line.
It is, and it's a very good. It has a very good reflection upon the beginning of the episode where she's on the flight and asks for headphones because she doesn't want to hear it anymore. Yeah. So I kind of like that back and forth. But yeah, pretty much trying to change the world ruins everything.
Yeah, and she's sitting there watching that mass shooting. So by this time, we know this is. You can extrapolate that this is going to play a role in the show.
Absolutely. And then, okay, so...
Real nice, Bethany.
I'm really sorry. We got a call that someone was coming with umbrellas. I'm really sorry.
You got a call that somebody was coming with umbrellas? If
Sorry.
I had a nickel...
Real life invading the podcast.
So then we have the Mamma Mia dinner.
Yeah, I referred to last episode. I was not a fan of this scene. So, and it's not Nomi's fault. I just didn't like, I know there's I know there's like the hippie movement, the free love and all that. I have trouble wrapping my mind around stuff like that. Whether or not it's realistic or not, I can't say. But it seemed ridiculous to me.
My mom's a pretty hip chick, I'm not going to lie. She's pretty cool. If she ever said that you were more interested in pussy than politics, I'd be like, shut your mouth, that is inappropriate.
Yeah, and... it kind of, in my mind, like I had thought about it, it kind of diminished the idea that these guys were Black Panthers. Like,
yeah.
So you're saying that their
they
political...
They even know that because they had to mention that they make quinoa right after.
Yeah, so your political movement is being referred to as pussy chasing. And I'm like, I don't know if that matches the message of the show. So it was like...
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so it was really like a weird
For
scene.
someone... Yeah, exactly. For someone who... for a show that's about big movements.
Yeah.
To diminish something like that.
And I
is
know
a
it's
little-
tongue in cheek, but it's still like that was what I thought. I mean,
sometimes their tongue in cheeks just do not hit it.
yeah. But
It's definitely hit or miss with those.
it's also nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
I was imagining it all happening at one time. And like there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen that in videos, but
I've seen it in videos, but like that?
yeah.
That's one of those where you're like, on to the next.
Yeah, so
Next poem, please.
yeah. But then we go to I'm calling them La Familia.
That's what I put.
Yeah, see?
Shut up. I didn't even say Daniel.
Get out of me.
Get out of me. That is what I put.
So
I'm glad it's spreading.
now, while it's an important scene because Joaquin shows up with Daniela's parents, and she's like, "No, this is my family now," and it's really a nice scene.
Like she doesn't care about the money anymore and they'll be with her. Let's talk about the real meat of the scene.
The Lido jersey.
Well, I even have, hold on. Where is it? The Lido jersey. Is it backwards?
No, it's like what he's wearing is on backwards. That's
Yeah,
not what I'm
that's what I was
talking
gonna
about. I'm talking about Daniela's got a Brazilian soccer jersey on.
Yeah.
That says Lido on the
Does
back.
it really? Does she really? I didn't notice that. That's
Like
awesome.
I kind of want one of those.
I definitely want one of those. If it has to be self-made, then so be it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a Lido spinoff.
Right, they should do that.
Something.
That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently Joaquin wants to be a huge tattletale.
He's a dick.
He's such a dick. And that mom, God, I just wanted to smack her. If you love your daughter so much, then fucking snap out of it. Shut up.
What's the problem there? Like
I don't know.
Your daughter lives in a great apartment with two successful
Two males
dudes.
that could protect her that don't beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, I don't understand what the problem is there. Like I didn't understand that. So
I love the
that is not the outfit.
This is also the no, I know what the outfit is. I figured it out, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think it's the next episode. I think. But I don't get this whole dynamic, like you said, of why the parents would be even pissed. But let's put all that aside and do what we're really doing here, which is the Lido show, and I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. The looks on his face when he takes that bag and how scared he looks. And I've already taken a screenshot on my phone of this moment.
Yeah.
Where, what did he say? Like, you want to get your ass kicked again, faggot? And then all of a sudden,
Wolfie appears
with that adorable smile, and you've got Lido looking scared and his adorable smile, and I'm like, I just, can I be the meat in that sandwich? I'm sorry. Let's just really put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually like Lido looks like even though he's fighting back, like he looks almost like embarrassed that he's fighting back. Like
Exactly.
like,
Hesitant, nervous, embarrassed.
But then he's like, oh, do you want to get your ass beat? And he takes that nice deep breath, and only if you want to get your ass beat by a fag.
I love when like he shows up and then that smile, that shit-eating grin that comes across his face, and he's like, only if you want to get your ass kicked by a faggot.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was a really good scene.
Like I said, really next to none Wolfgang in this, but the Wolfgang I got in this was the exact Wolfgang I wanted.
Yeah.
So it was great. So Daniela lost her trust fund. She keeps La Familia.
Yeah.
Love it. And then we come back to the romantic comedy family dinner.
Yeah, and Will's just worried about... Really, this is just Will being worried about Riley coming in and Nomi saying, it's okay, and then giving the backstory on the ID.
I did find that interesting.
About the transgender?
That, when it was hard for trans people to get IDs, she's the one that provided them. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a good backstory for it.
And sorry, being the basic bitch I am, I never thought of that as being a problem. It never came to my mind.
I never thought of it either.
And because you're a basic bitch too.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was actually really cool. I didn't even think about that. And I love this next scene. I really liked these 2 episodes. I thought they were good.
Yeah, I was happy.
I really like this series.
I know.
I like it so much. Can we talk about it?
So Riley's at the airport, and she's worried that somebody's following her. Will's with her, and then Diego shows up, and that's Will's partner from season 1. And
I love the reaction, though. So you're the girl with the weird accent.
yeah, he's really good
He's
in this
very good.
in this second season.
Diego?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Right. I was really glad he brought him back. I think I mentioned it like there's a couple characters that come back, and this is like the main one for me.
Yeah, he was really good. Like later in the episode, just him being pissed. It's just all of it. You're right. He's really good. I really liked him a lot. And then they go to Superdog.
Okay. They go to Superdog because he has to eat when he gets nervous. And this is apparently like a meaningful place for Will because he gets out of the truck and he's really happy. And Diego's like, I'm going to get a hot dog. Do you want anything? Riley's like, no. He's like, could you get a malt?
Because can he taste the malt?
First of all, malt. Getting a malt is the willest thing ever.
It's the willest thing ever. I love it.
But what I like is like later on in the episode, she's finishing the malt and he's sitting next to her and he looks at her and she gives him like this. Like,
totally.
Like, that's awesome.
I noticed that too. Where he's like, yeah,
malt.
Shaking my head vigorously.
I've lashed myself onto a malt keg.
Exactly. I don't think I've ever had a malt. Have you?
I'm not 100% sure what a malt is.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I hear malt, I think of like some kind of form of ice cream.
Yeah.
Like some form of shake. So I think I've had one, especially when I lived up in Massachusetts.
What are malt balls? Those candies? Have you ever had those?
Malted milk balls?
Is that...
I don't know.
I would really like to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, now to more serious stuff. Zakiya meets Capheus's mom.
Yeah. And she goes to dropping bombs.
She looks amazing.
Zakiya?
Yeah.
Or
No,
the mom.
the
mom does look amazing for somebody.
I want to be like, Capheus, I understand that you're pissed about these drugs, but I don't think she's getting those drugs.
Yeah.
Because if she were getting the expired drugs, she wouldn't be looking like that.
Right. She looked pretty rough for a couple of episodes in season 1.
Yeah.
So she's looking all right.
She got them Silas drugs.
Yeah, she's getting the India drugs.
So that was good, but Zakiya ruins everything.
Let me ask a question. Is Zakiya wearing lipstick?
I don't know.
So when I look at her lips, and
They're bright red, though.
they're bright red, but like the darker shade on her lips is really broken and jagged. And I'm like, are her lips just naturally that color? And I'm sure maybe there's some coloration on there, but I think
It's a lip stain.
Okay.
Ever heard of lip stain? There's lip gloss, lipstick, lip stain.
I'm a coverall girl.
Okay, so lip stain is just a very light coat that can seep into the creases.
Okay.
So, there's my
You learn something new each day?
makeup knowledge. Lip stain is supposed to make it look more natural.
Okay.
Unless you're me who puts on purple lip stain and then it really doesn't. It just looks like a drink.
Well, then it's working.
Yeah, she is wearing that lip stain. And then, okay, so we've got another. Okay, so first of all, she is getting along great with her mom, but then
Yeah, she
ruins
says
everything.
Capheus is running for office since the first the mom hears, and they have a nice little argument. Mm-hmm. And she's just worried because that's how we find out that's how his dad died. I don't know if we knew that before, but like he was a political figure who got killed.
Yeah, and so then we have another "What am I doing with my life?" conversation by Kala.
Yeah, with Son.
Mm-hmm. Those are kind of getting a little repetitive.
They are.
I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Like,
No, I don't want to see any of those in season 3, and I hear I'm going to get my way.
I know. I was gonna. Wah, wah. I literally had a note in here and I had to delete it because I'm like, I bet the first Sense8 they kill might be Kala, unless they did something with the Wolfgang Kala that could give Wolfgang like serious revenge power. But
Yeah.
We'll never know.
There's still episodes to go.
We'll see. Oh God.
But like that's when and so Rajan shows up to apologize. Mm-hmm. They have their little discussion, and he says, "Oh, the look in your face! I've seen the error of my ways.
I'll change everything."
Yeah,
That's what they all say.
I know. That's what I would say.
That's what they all say. Then we have the Riley. We're back at Superdog with them eating. And can I ask you a question? What is go take a flying
I wrote it down.
fuck on a rolling donut?
I wrote it down. Go take a flying fuck at a rolling donut, question mark. I don't know if that's just supposed to be some angry utterance where he wasn't making sense because he's so angry.
Yeah.
Or if that's a Chicago thing.
Yeah, I was wondering. I should ask my boss. They're all from Chicago.
I've never heard it. I've heard flying fuck.
Yeah.
I've heard go take a. I've never heard the rolling donut part.
Is it like a rolling donut with a car?
I have no
Like
idea.
go take a flying fuck with a rolling donut so you like flip your car over and you
I
can
don't
go fuck
know.
yourself?
I thought it might be like a police derogatory term.
I'll have to ask. I'll tell that to my boss and then see how he reacts.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
Say
you
it
know
seriously.
us. We'll see how that goes down. And the only note I have here, so you might need to help me out, is BFFs are greater than cops.
Yeah, so that's the conversation we were talking about between Will and Diego, and they both are awesome in that conversation. Like, they both get teary-eyed, and I know that's not the end-all be-all of acting, but it seemed really sincere.
Yeah, that's where you hit it, though. Crying is not the end-all be-all. Actually feeling the sincerity of it behind it is what it is. And man, they both do really good in this episode, no matter what they're doing, even if he's trying to break into Interpol.
Yeah. And then after that, we jump to the thing that we already referenced with Capheus and his mom having the argument.
Again, I cried like a little baby.
But then we go to Sun visiting the cemetery. I would go to Korea just for that cemetery.
That was incredible.
That was fucking beautiful.
Oh my God. Why aren't more cemeteries like that here?
Yeah, and I'm not a cemetery guy, but that was...
I mean, who is?
That was gorgeous. Well, I mean, some people care about that. But like...
I mean, I'm not a cemetery guy, but
yeah, but man, it was like rolling hills.
Gorgeous.
It looked like orchards. Yeah, so they're doing it right over in Korea.
After watching it and then going back, I'm wondering why you see this dude... If you see any dude,
right.
why are you not...
Yeah.
Probably should go.
Yeah, so she walks by a maintenance guy, and then we find out it's the old detective guy, who I will say, what was the website you quoted last week that said that wasn't the
Yeah.
It's not the same actor.
Okay.
It's the takedown move, like when he remembers how he pinned her, is different than how the match in season 1 ends.
Gotcha. So that was somebody just ruining.
Yeah, they were right. I was wrong.
So that doesn't make sense, though. Why would you do that?
I don't know. It's weird storytelling.
It is weird storytelling, right?
It's better my way.
Yeah, I like it. I love it much better your way.
Yeah, it's usually the case.
But I'm okay with it now that we won't get anything out of it. So, but yeah, so she apologizes to her father because she still thinks it's her fault.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But we get the huge moment of her pretty much talking to her mother, and I wrote down the line because they've got some good one-liners.
It's a flashback with her and her mom. Yeah.
And she says, "I measure so much of my life against one afternoon with you."
Yeah.
And this is all based off of her losing a fight when she was younger. And I guess her teacher had told the mom that she was the most fearless person she'd ever met. And with that kind of fierce determination, she would never live a life like hers, and that made her happy. But then you have I loved this part. I don't know why I loved it so much, but with the surrounding cluster giving each piece of advice.
Yeah, it was like that kind of togetherness moments. We start getting more of them now than we've had so far this season.
I'm glad there's only 3 episodes left.
Yeah, and I do really enjoy those moments when they're all together.
Yeah, I really do. And it was just like a one-line thing from everyone except for Capheus. And I have to say this.
Go ahead.
Or no, you say it, because I love when you say it. You have to.
Well, he's talking about how after his dad died that he wanted revenge and he stole a gun, and then his mom talks.
Do you hate the person?
Right. His mom tells him that she doesn't hate the guy who killed his dad because she's got no room in her heart for hate. I said it. Oh, look at the spikes on the recorder.
Every time. That's all right. Yeah, whatever. We're excited.
It was.
But yeah, that whole thing with Capheus and the mom, like, it's just such a sweet relationship. And you kind of see, I'm sorry to go back, but you do kind of see that as a young boy, he overheard this fight with their parents, and that might have been a driving force in the future for him. And he says, maybe I'm a fool like my father. And
yeah,
I cried at that point too.
Yeah, they tied it in a short period of time. They tied a lot of his story together.
Yeah, I liked it. Love this. God. This is the Lito dick sucking hour.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite scenes coming up. So Lito is back at his representative's, his agent's office, and he's just jumping up and down the hall. He's super excited because his speech in Sao Paulo's gotten 2 billion hits.
It's the way he says it. It's just so,
And then he finds out he's been let go. They don't want to represent him because
they kill his dreams.
Yeah, other clients have a problem with him being openly homosexual. And so he does this weird kind of walk of shame out of the thing. And
do you love how behind the whole wall is made up of a rainbow?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, the whole wall is nothing but rainbow tiles.
Yeah, I was just watching like his physical, his body language is so good as he walks to the elevator, and he gets on the elevator, and there's this other young guy in there.
I was really afraid he was just going to be so sad, and all of a sudden they were going to hook up, and he was going to do something stupid. But no, it actually ended perfectly.
Yeah, so like Leto's crying, he's tore up, and this guy just, after like 3 or 4 awkward seconds, just goes over and gives him this gigantic hug. And it's an awesome, awesome moment. Like, even now I get the chills.
It is, and like he breaks down in this guy's arms, but without hugging him.
Yeah.
And the guy just, before he walks off, says thank you.
Yeah.
And
it was awesome.
I loved it.
That's actually probably a pretty good moment to go ahead and kick it over to an Audible ad so we can dry our eyes. Or, I don't know if it's an Audible ad, but it's going to be an ad.
That's where you can listen to it.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, this is your Boob Tube Buddy, Kristin. I, like many people, suffer from ADD, aka Attention Deficit Disorder. One of the many problems that stem from this is my inability to finish any project. I've gone down multiple avenues to try and, well, get my shit together, and I always seem to have a little bit of troubles. And don't even get me started with being able to finish reading an entire book. Well, that's where Audible.com swooped in and saved the day. Right now, I'm listening to Stephanie Nealon's Writing and ADHD, Tips to Help Finish Your Novel and Other Writing Projects. If you haven't already, go ahead and try Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and free 30-day trial at www.audibletrial.com/boobtubebuddies. Over 180,000 titles to choose from through your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Shit, there was something else I wanted to tell you, but I got distracted and forgot. Sounds like I should start finishing this book soon. Fingers crossed. We're back.
We're back.
What do you think if HBO is like, dude, we are losing Game of Thrones. Let's pick this shit up, grab a whole bunch of new writers.
Yeah, they've had some bombs, so that's actually an interesting thought. I'm sure they would love to have something with the Wachowskis too. Wachowskis.
Yeah.
That probably is not. I mean, I don't know if it would happen, but that's actually a really good idea.
And even if they couldn't make a major motion picture out of it, what if they did like a movie for HBO?
Yeah, I just think like that's probably the best bet is you might get a movie to wrap the story up. It kind of happened with Heroes, and it came back much later. They did another season or something much later, and it wasn't very good. And it's hard to get the same actors because I have a feeling that these guys are going to be busy.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But what I'm really afraid of is all you have on Max Riemelt's thing is German stuff, and it's not that I don't want to watch it, I just don't understand it. I might be German, but I don't know German.
Oh, I thought I saw him in something coming up, but I'm not sure.
I hope so. How about a movie with him and Miguel Silvestre?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
And Hernando. And so.
but once we're done with the Leto scene and you've dried your eyes, we go back to...
I literally have tears.
We go back to Riley and Will, who are back where they first kissed in season 1.
Yes.
And
that was, again, his apology to her, and then I thought he was going to propose.
Beard's getting longer. I'm worried about Will. But the old man Oi pops in, and he tells her...
Such a good scene.
He tells her, hey, it's go time. Like, they've decided. It's time to go have your meeting.
Yep. Before we have that meeting, let's wrap up with the sun and the moon. He wants to spar again.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. They meet again, and...
it's important.
Yeah. He pretty much tells her, listen, I'm on your side. He kind of gives that vibe, like, I'm on your side, I'm still a cop.
Yeah.
But I'm still on your side.
It's an interesting scene because he's telling her this, and as he's telling her, he's, like, setting down his broom, and he's taking off his gloves, and she's backing up like a cornered dog. Like, and you can see her, and then, you know, he, like, puts his hands out, and he takes a step forward, and you can see her hand in the foreground, and she's getting really tense, like she's about to just spring into action, and it's kind of what he wants.
Exactly. Again, I want to meet Carmen Cuba. I'm glad you did. Oh my God, you know who that is, right? Because I would have never known that person, and I want to write to her and say, you are a genius, because even the smallest of characters like Diego and Detective Moon, I seriously love.
Yeah, she's got to
He's
actually...
a great pick.
She's actually doing another Steven Soderbergh movie called Logan Lucky that's coming out. That looks fantastic with Daniel Craig in it. It looks really good.
Ooh. Well, she does good stuff because, like, there's not... I mean,
She's
going to
be
done
in...
better on Bug.
I'll say it now. She's going to be in an episode.
Really?
Yeah, she makes a cameo appearance later on.
Cool. Okay, good. But yeah, like, even Detective Moon, I'm enamored with. I like him a lot. And so he says that he pretty much, might be the last time he can match up with her.
He wants his rematch.
And I love this. This is so great. Let's see what you've learned, Detective Moon. Like, and then they go at it. And then he pretty much says, you're not fighting anybody. That's what's behind this. You're not fighting anybody. You're fighting something else. And then he goes into the thing about her father and all that. And I feel like she really feels understood at that point.
Well, yeah, and you see her, she starts getting emotional. And then she turns that emotion into, like, she
Anger.
doesn't like emotion, apparently.
No.
And she starts whipping his ass.
She's like, wait, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, and they're just fighting crazy.
But then they kiss.
Then they have a kiss. Big, sweaty...
A very, like, are you going to fall off a cliff?
Yeah.
Or are you going to kiss? I couldn't figure it out.
And then she knocks him out.
And then she knocks him the fuck out. And then she tells him, you have gotten better.
Yeah. It was
a
nice.
great scene.
Yeah, it was like good for Sun because she really hasn't had that.
It's very good. And I really wish... I'm inconsolable. What can I say?
But then we cut to a scene with Nomi and Amanita in bed.
This is huge.
It is huge because Amanita springs awake, and she's been watching videos on her thing of the mass shooting, and the speaker so what it is they're in a mosque and this guy's giving a speech, and they basically tell you so. They're describing what the mosque is and who the crowd is, and it's basically a coexist bumper sticker is what they should have just flashed up on the screen to save some time, because that's basically what they did right there.
Did you immediately know that it was a bunch of Sense8s?
No, I didn't know that.
As soon as he started talking about a peace treaty of a bunch of different people, I'm like, this has got to be some sort of...
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, actually, probably the first couple times I watched it.
It's just something, but... 2 seconds later, you find out.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, because fucking Todd's in the audience. And
You ruin everything, Todd!
You do ruin everything. And he stands up and just starts laying people to waste.
I mean, he didn't even stand... Like, I don't even think he was fully standing...
Right.
When he started pulling that gun.
Like, yeah. I mean, it was a submachine gun.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he pulled it out too casually to have been hiding it.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I'm saying. He wasn't even like fully standing, and he was already taking down like 10 people. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, but
it was terrifying.
You gotta suspend some belief. Yeah, and like they're watching that video. I hate watching that stuff. I remember I forget who the journalist was, and I don't know if it was the first war in Iraq, Daniel Pearl, and there was this video that came out with him being beheaded, and I remember watching that. And like being so disgusted with not with the video. I mean, that was disgusting, but disgusted with myself for having watched it.
Yeah.
That I refuse to ever watch that stuff anymore.
No, I won't watch that stuff at all, because you think like, why is this on video? Why am I allowed to watch this?
Yeah, and we grew up on like Faces of Death videos when I was a kid. That was a huge thing. And
Rotten.com?
Yeah, and I think back to it, I'm like, God, man, it's really disgusting. Is you reach a point where that's not actually entertaining. That's
I don't know
just tragedy.
why that Mayor Buddy, that guy, not Mayor Buddy, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Oops. That politician buddy guy, do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's on YouTube. Still on YouTube to this day. I found it a couple years ago. It should be removed. I don't know why. But apparently he had some shady dealings, and then he went on a press conference, and in the middle of the press conference, he starts handing out manila folders to certain people, calling them up. And then he's done handing them out, and he's got one last manila folder, and he pulls out a gun, and he just shoots himself in the head. And
oh, yeah, I haven't seen that for sure.
And it's real. And I'm like, why is this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Things like that should not be. I'm sorry. Like,
right.
There's got to be a point where we just don't pass it. I don't care if we get to a point at 2010, and now we're at 2020, and it's 10 years later, we got to have something big and... No, that's just a point should never be passed.
It's not entertaining. And if you're entertained by it...
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, you need therapy.
Yeah.
So, but that's...
Agreed.
Off the soapbox.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I mean, it's like you can still look up the guy putting a bunch of kittens in a bag and shaking them. It's just like, why can you find that? You shouldn't be able to find that. All right. So let's go back to something happy. Not really. We get to the church. Now, I'm going to need you to lead this one a little bit.
Okay. So this is the meeting place for Riley. Diego's driven her there.
Who is she meeting up with?
Will's with them.
Is it the Archipelago?
So yeah, that's who set it up, the Archipelago, and we actually see the person she's meeting in the last episode when the old man Oi did that thing where you see like the network, and she's the last person you see sitting outside Dr. Clovey's office. It's the same woman.
Okay.
So that's who she's meeting. But the church, not to jump ahead, is where Angelica killed herself.
Yeah.
So like Will and Diego are
really
like
jumping behind.
Yeah, they're up on their hackles and they're worried about the situation.
Yeah.
Diego's happy to jump out of there though. When he finds out, wait, you're going downstairs and there's some guy named Whispers. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, somebody named Whispers.
He's like, I'll go wait on the truck. No worries.
No, I'm good. And then she gets into that room, and there's that table with a whole Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Wonderland. I think it's the last name.
No, you just said it like up north.
Oh, good old Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
That whole table that says "Drink Me" with the blocker.
Yep.
And so, do we know the name of this lady, or?
I don't recall hearing her name, but
I think that's what confused me.
Yeah, we find out she works for or she worked with Clovey. She still does. She helped Angelica escape BPO, and which allowed her to give birth to our Sense8s.
Gotcha. And she chose that church because that's where she used to sing at.
Yeah, that's where the contact used to sing at. But we also find out that the only reason Angelica was with BPO is because she was trying to track down her first litter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that so much better.
Trying to track down her first litter of Sense8s. So while we kind of were frowning on her, she was at least doing something right, we find out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there was a better way to go about it, but...
Yeah, she wasn't the sharpest tool.
Yeah, and we also find out Whisper's full name, which is Milton Bailey Brandt, which just sounds like a guy who would grow up to become a dick. Don't name your kid Milton Bradley Brandt.
Milton Bradley. Is
Bailey, excuse me.
I was going to say, isn't Milton Bradley the games?
Milton Bailey, like, is there a game around here? Milton Bailey Brandt. Definitely don't name him Milton Bradley.
Don't name him that because they will invent Monopoly.
Yeah. But she gives him Whisper's home address.
Mm-hmm. First of all, real quick, I do want to discuss that Whispers, the reason behind them working with Whispers is because he had gotten a sensorium frontal lobe that was kind of... yeah,
he's learned how to graft.
Neural graft.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how that works.
I've got it.
Okay.
It mimics the conscious of another, overriding the consciousness of one sensorium onto another.
Okay.
So pretty much it takes over another person.
Yeah. But I'm guessing you have to put something in the head?
You would, yeah.
Yeah. So that explains all the scars in the goofy hat.
What's up with, okay, so at first when they show, when they compare each other's forearms or whatever, I wasn't looking at the cuts. Their veins looked fucking weird. Looked like a bunch of orange veins. I'm like, is that what you're, like, I didn't,
all I saw was the scars.
Oh, see, I saw a bunch of orange veins. I'm like, do you guys have different veins as being sensoriums, or that's nothing? All right, let's move on.
I might go back and look at it, but yeah, that's...
But they get the address.
They get the address, and then we see Will and Wolfie and Son, and they're all at Whisper's house. And then, I told you previously, so I guess I already spoiled it.
My name is Jonas.
Jonas shows up, and so he's still alive.
And he's back.
He's back. And, that's the end of the episode. So that's like a big ending right there.
Huge reveal.
Yeah, I know we talked about it, but and it really, like, this scene will bleed right into the first scene. Like, it's just a continuation into episode number 8. But yeah, that was...
So like a 90s show, ...
Yeah,
to
right.
be continued.
Exactly. I mean, that's about it. Yeah. So
we're done here.
Yeah. You want to tie a bow on this bitch?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll see you next time, buddies.
Bye.
Bye.